It's a funny thought, but have you ever felt like a tourist in your own hometown? Well, that exact question is what sparked a really fascinating summer project for one person who decided to see the place he grew up, Yilan, Taiwan, through completely fresh eyes. So, let's join him on this journey of rediscovery. So, this was Tony's mission. It wasn't just about visiting places, it was about documenting them in a whole new language, in English. He was turning a personal challenge into a way to share his home with the rest of us. It's about so much more than just language, right? It's about finding new words for old memories.
And that really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, honestly, when was the last time you really explored the place you live? What kind of hidden stories are just waiting for you right around the corner?
Okay, so let's dive into Tony's summer quest. His journey started with a really simple goal. Use his summer vacation to try some new things and collect some interesting stories. No grand expedition, just a simple promise to himself to look a little closer.
But don't let that simple goal fool you. This project was ambitious. The plan was to document 100 distinct experiences. This was way more than a summer diary. This was a systematic exploration of his home, giving it the curiosity it really deserved.
So with a goal that big, where do you even begin? Well, for Tony, the answer was to start by listening to the land itself. He kicked things off by exploring the natural landscapes of Yilan, letting them be the first storytellers.
First stop on the list, Peng Peng Hot Spring. Now, we're not talking about some fancy resort here. No way. This is a wild, natural hot spring deep in Datong Township. It's the kind of place that feels ancient, like you've just stumbled upon a real secret corner of the world. And get this, the name itself tells a story. Peng Peng isn't just a place, it's a sound. It comes from the indigenous Atayal language, from the word bong bong, which perfectly mimics the sound of the springs bubbling up from the earth. How cool is that? It's a name that ties the place directly to its original people and the voice of the land itself.
This really shows you how much a landscape can change over time. The Renshan Natural Trail, today it's this gorgeous recreational area. But back in the day, it was a huge industrial center for camphor production. It's kind of like finding out your favorite peaceful park used to be a bustling factory floor. The same land tells two totally different stories.
Here's another amazing example, the Sunglo Trail. It's so much more than just a path. The local Atayal community actually calls it the Trail of Happiness, and they manage it themselves as a form of ecotourism, actively preserving a place that was once their traditional hunting ground. It's just a beautiful story of conservation and cultural pride.
This deep connection to the land leads us straight to the people who've shaped it for centuries. Tony's journey quickly became an encounter with the living traditions of Yilan, especially the Atayal tribe. He got to learn about the incredible art of Atayal bow-making from elders like Mr. Wei Jianfu. It all starts with the right material, a shrub called lygodium, which is known for being super elastic and strong. But the craft, it's about so much more than the final product. It's a living artifact, a way of handing down ancestral knowledge and keeping their heritage alive.
And it's a similar story with the Atayal backstrap loom. This is way more than just a tool. It's totally essential to the identity of Atayal women. Mastering weaving, creating these complex patterns you see referenced, was a true rite of passage into adulthood. It was a skill that symbolized a deep connection to her ancestors and her place within the tribe.
So, beyond these incredible living traditions, Tony's journey also started to uncover these echoes of the past, layers of history, sometimes forgotten, that are literally written into the landscape of Yilan.
He visited a place called Leshui Village, which has this really powerful nickname, the Forgotten Tribe. And you have to wonder, right? Why forgotten? What happened there?
Well, in its heyday, Leshui was a bustling hub. It was a super important stop on the forest railway and was the region's main granary. But then, the railway stopped running, the local government moved away, and just like that, prosperity left with them, leaving behind a quiet village and a story of what happens when the world moves on. The timeline for the Hansi Shrine tells another one of these complex stories. It was built back in the 1930s during the Japanese colonial period, but then it fell into neglect for decades, just abandoned. It wasn't until the 1990s that the local community rallied to bring it back. It's a real cycle of creation, abandonment, and then finally rebirth.
But what makes this shrine so fascinating is that it was never just one thing. It was this incredible blend of cultures. The Japanese authorities built it to promote Shinto beliefs and assimilate the local people. But the Atayal people, they wove their own ancestral spirit worship right into its practices. It became this unique, hybrid sacred space where two cultures met.
So after exploring the land, the culture, the history, what does this all add up to? Well, it led to a profound rediscovery of what home really truly means. The place Tony had known his whole life was completely transformed. Yilan was no longer just a familiar backdrop. It became a living museum. Every trail, every village, every tradition was an exhibit with its own story to tell. All it took was the intention to really look and to listen.
And it all came from that one summer goal, 100 unique experiences. Each one was a piece of a puzzle, and when he put them all together, it revealed a picture of his hometown that was so much richer and more detailed than he had ever imagined. Which leaves us with one final thought. Tony's journey proves that you don't need to travel halfway across the world to find incredible stories. They're all around us, in the names of our streets, the history of our buildings. So the real question is, what stories does your hometown hold? Just waiting for you to discover them.